Welcome to Mighty Married Moms. Join us at our kitchen table twice a week as the Mighty Married Moms, Debbie, Linda, Wendy, invite spectacular guests to weigh in on staying sexy, vibrant, and healthy, building marriages with soul-satisfying connection, raising happy, healthy, successful kids. Conversations with Mighty Married Moms will bring you closer to the life you really want.
Episode 129.
Hi, this is Wendy Williams, and marriage happiness is way possible. ConnectAgain.org is very happy to sponsor Mighty Married Moms. We are partners in bringing you closer to the life you really want. Visit us today for marriage boosts at ConnectAgain.org.
Hi everyone, welcome back to MightyMarriedMoms.com, and this is Wendy Williams from ConnectAgain.org.
Debbie Owen from YouCanRaiseGreatKids.com.
And Linda Tighe from allwellbreaksloose.com.
Yes, and we're here to have a follow-up conversation with just you on the conversation we just had with Melissa Orlov from ADHDmarriage.com. Yes, I'll tell you, one thing I didn't ask Melissa when we talked with her was the fact that right on the very top of her website it said, when one or both people in a marriage have ADHD, and my eyes fell out of my head because my husband has ADHD, and I don't know about anybody else here at the table married, but it's in everybody's family, and but I can't imagine if both partners had it. But we had a great conversation with Melissa. She was a wealth of information, right?
Tons of great. She really knows her stuff.
Absolutely.
She really knows her stuff, and she grounds it in science and grounds it in the latest studies, which is really, really helpful. So one of the things that I took away from that was, I'll start with what I walked away with feeling really good about, is the gifts that somebody having ADHD in a marriage, in a relationship can have. Because, at the outset it sounds problematic, like they can't pay attention, they're not available, whatever. But she said
it's attention deficit hyperactivity
disorder.
None of that sounds good, right?
Yeah, right. Doesn't sound right. But she said, they can be spontaneous. They live in the moment. They're creative. They're innovative. And I was like, yeah, that's so true about my husband. That's so true about living with him. Is he is fun. He is creative. He's very curious. There's so many things that interest him. So those things are really fun and it spice up our conversations. And so I do really appreciate that about him. And there are challenges in a relationship, and hence that's what she does. She actually counsels couples for whom ADHD is kind of getting in the way of their relationship. And I just think that her work is really, really valuable, and I'm looking forward to continuing conversations with her. What did you learn from her?
Well, I think the three big things were for me, were the three-legged stool that she was talking about, in terms of in order to try to manage, I guess is the word she used, manage either ADD or ADHD. The way to handle it is this three-legged stool of physiology, behavioral, and interactions. And that is so critical. The physiological is a lot of the stuff that we talk about, I've learned about regularly too, in terms of sleep hygiene and making sure that you get some fish oil and that you get enough exercise. I mean, teachers all
medication is under that category.
Medication comes under that category if that seems to be the right thing to do. As a parent of a child who had ADD when he was younger, we really worked on those things and made sure that he did get his fish oil, and we made sure that he did get exercise. We said you have to be, if you're not in a team sport, that's fine, but you got to do a physical activity regularly, several times a week. And so we took the bull by the horns and made sure that he got what he needed in order to be able to focus as much as he needed to.
And the behavioral, what's that? Let's kind of giving yourself some ways of organizing your time. And
Yes. And when I talk to parents that have kids that have organizational issues, whether or not they have ADD, that's the stuff that I talk to them about. And I've got a system that I can share with parents in terms of how to get a kid organized and help them be more successful. And I know you, as the parent of a teenager who's struggled with that, my child didn't have to go through that organizational bit, but you could talk to that a little bit too, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's a skill that he's had to learn more than I ever had to, or more than my oldest son has had to learn. But they're great skills to have. I mean, he knows how to have a planner, and he puts in his planner what's due when and what he has to do. So I wish I had really had that training when I was in school because I came out of it not really necessarily doing it that well. It's something that I had to learn as an adult to do better because nobody talked about it when I was in school. So I think it's a great skill for everyone and anyone to learn, and that's one of the ways that schools are now coping with kids and attention deficit on all levels, how to help them do that.
Yeah. And the relationship part, or what did you call it, interactions?
The interactions,
as the third leg of the stool, is to really is to find out what kind of verbal cues, bring things into the relationship that help kind of take the mask off of things that you're skeptical about. For instance, she mentioned that sometimes she married a man with ADHD, and that's how this whole world unfolded for her. And she says she'll be in the driver's seat literally, and she might stop short at a light or something, and he'll overreact like, and it used to scare her, but now knowing that he has ADHD and his ability to, or his capacity to kind of moderate some of his responses or reactions in life is a little bit less than hers might be, she's able to roll with that and not take it so personally, like, what, do I drag that badly that you need to worry about your safety, So kind of unmasking some of the things that that might get in the way of the relationship, and that persistent distractibility, was it?
Yeah.
And so if you're feeling like, hello, here I am, can you pay attention to me a little bit, as opposed to being off in Never Never Land all the time? So instead of kind of making that be a point of you're being bad or you're not being, is to say, you know what? I could use some time where the two of us are looking at each other face to face. Let's go out and have a cup of coffee. Let's just sit down face to face. So finding some other ways of kind of bringing some health and happiness and connection into the relationship, rather than letting this, distractibility issue kind of run roughshod over your relationship.
Yeah.
So those three-legged stool, that was really a very helpful image to kind of really...
Yeah,
it was. And the word distraction, she said attention deficit's not really a good, it doesn't really describe what it is. And she described it more as chronic distraction. Mm-hmm. So deficit is a very different word than distraction. And my experience with my son and other people with ADHD, it's really more about the distraction. You can get very... it's hard maybe to focus on one area. But as she said, they are also typically people who are interested in so many things and very curious and creative. And we had another interview in our podcast, Innovative Labs, right, where, the people who change the world tend to be people with ADHD, right? Because they're,
they are so interested in so many things.
Yeah, and they're grabbing at all these different
or
ideas.
they're hyper focused on something, and they're like, I'm gonna find that needle in the haystack. I'm gonna find it. And doggone, they do.
And they're not going to judge that's what that they want to do that. So there are the gifts, and I think that, as you said earlier, I think the gifts are really important to focus on, and I think Melissa absolutely agrees with that. And then she that's what came out of her doing her research, is making her marriage better and happier, and learning what is it, how can we cope together as a couple, and how can I understand you better, so that I understand where you are in our relationship.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And also, I think the other things, she talked about, we talked about the physiological, but that exercise was number one. Exercise can actually help somebody focus for 2 to 4 hours after exercising. So if you know that you have difficulty focusing in a certain area, it might be good to go out and take a quick 15-minute walk,
right.
And then come back in and do. I know for my son, that was one of the coping techniques they used in elementary school. If the teacher would know he was losing focus, he would be allowed to go and walk around the building a couple times or around the hallways, and he'd come back and boom, he was right back there.
So you know what, for a productivity tip, that's what we should all be doing anyway, is we should be setting the timer, and every person that timer, for a younger child, the timer might be 30 minutes. For an adult, it might be 90 minutes. But somewhere in that range between 30 and 90 minutes, you should set the timer, and then, when the timer comes on, you stop what you're doing, or maybe finish the sentence or something, get up, walk around, move.
Yeah.
Get your blood and oxygen flowing back up to your brain, and then sit down again and get back to work.
Okay, Debbie, sounds good.
Yeah.
What do you think, Deb?
Yeah. No, I actually am starting to do that.
Are you?
Yeah,
Good, good, yeah.
because it's, I can get stuck at my computer just sitting there doing work.
Me
for
too.
one.
Me too. I totally get that.
Actually, I have dogs who come and pester me.
Yes.
And it's a
Yeah.
great opportunity to get up, feed them or walk them or play with them for 5 or 10 minutes and then get back and you sit down and get back to work. And it makes a huge difference.
Right. You know, one thing that she said that I kept saying, ask her, and I forgot. She talked about sleep hygiene and about, she didn't say this explicitly, but shutting off the screens about an hour before you go to bed at least is generally considered to be very smart. And, getting enough sleep and maybe using music to calm yourself down. And then she talked about something about modifying the blueness of the screen.
Yes.
Do you know what that is?
Yeah.
All right, tell me.
Well, you sound like you probably know more than I do. I know that people are getting glasses that will help with that.
Yeah, there's glasses. There's a way that you can do it on your computer, and I don't remember how, but your computer can be programmed so that as the day goes on, it gets more yellow because it's the blue light that affects your brain and sleeping, and so you shouldn't be looking into that blue light at night. Your kids too. And I remember I did it on my computer. Of course, I'm not a computer whiz by any means. So I did it. I don't know how I did it. I couldn't even tell you how.
Well, I'm sure that's a quick Google.
Yeah.
It's a quick Google search, I'm sure, too. Yeah,
It's to
absolutely.
make your
But you can do it. It's simple.
Can
and
you do it on your phone? Because I sleep with it. It's terrible. Terrible.
It is terrible.
It's
You can't
terrible
sleep with
and
it,
terrible.
Wendy.
Well, I don't literally sleep with it, but it's by my bed getting recharged,
And
right?
so that's one of the tips that I tell parents
It's
all the
true.
time.
It's
That
true.
everybody in the family should put their phones in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And if you use it as an alarm, go buy a darn alarm clock.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, because I a lot of times I'll put the earbuds in and I will put in music or guided meditation to kind of go to sleep, and it's beautiful. Of course, then I wake up with like my ear bleeding because the bud is like doing some strange thing. Not really, but anyway. So yeah, it would be okay. I could try.
You could try.
That's right. Lent's coming up. Maybe I could give up my phone in my bedroom for Lent.
There you go.
There you go. Try it out.
That's
See how it
right.
works.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I've used meditations and stuff to go
Yeah.
to sleep too, and I still I know this sounds amazing, and maybe I'm still a dinosaur, but I have an iPod.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
me
I
too.
have it on my iPod.
Yeah.
And so
I have
my
a real
phone-
old
My
iPod.
phone is not next to my bed.
That's great.
Because I know myself well enough to know that I would wake up first thing before I even get out of bed and I would check it, and I don't want to do that.
No.
Yep.
I don't want to be that person.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. Good for you. That's good. That's smart.
But, we don't want kids to do that either.
No.
So
Right.
we're digressing a little bit.
But ADHD? No.
Yeah.
Well, maybe because we all have ADHD.
Yeah.
That's why. We're distracted.
We've just discovered this on the show today.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Here we go.
we are all easily distracted.
That's right. That's right. It's
How about
time to
you?
get up and do some exercise. Let's go, guys.
Viewers and listeners, are you easily distracted?
Yeah, right.
We would love to hear from you.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
please share in the comments below.
Yeah.
If you, after listening to us talk about this, how do you
And digress.
feel? And digress. Ooh, shiny. Yeah.
Ooh, shiny.
Do you feel that you are easily distracted? If so, how? And do you do anything about it? We would love to hear from all of you.
So
too.
funny.
Yeah,
That's so funny.
absolutely.
Yeah, this has been great. It's been a great conversation. And Melissa, thank you so much
Lovely.
for joining us. And we feel the need to probably have another chapter 2 with you, because I think we barely scratched the surface of how ADHD can impact relationships. And if it's in the marriage relationship, you better look downstream at your kids. Just saying.
Actually, most people discover it because they're looking at their kids. They're driving them crazy,
And they go
then
back
look
up.
upstream.
And they look
And then
upstream.
they realize, oh,
You come by this naturally.
look at that. I can't tell you how many parents I've heard that over and over
Really?
and over again. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Interesting.
They're trying to solve their kids. Parents, it's not always just your kid.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Right.
It's, so many parents come to me and they say, here, fix my kid. And it's
Right.
it's not
It's
just
a family system.
It's a family system. We create the environment in which
Right.
our children can thrive and do well.
Right. There's a family system always at play. Always, always, always.
Yes.
Well, you have once again joined Mighty Married Moms for a really good discussion and conversation about things that really matter in life and that really have an impact on your day-to-day lives. Please make sure that you subscribe on iTunes, give us a rating and review, and share this. Share all this good information with people in your life that you know could use this. We would appreciate it, and so would your friends and family.
Yeah.
So thanks very much. This is Wendy Williams from Mighty Married Moms signing off. Take care.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of Mighty Married Moms. Tune in twice a week on Mondays and Thursdays to meet fascinating and inspiring guests who will help you create the life you've always wanted.
You can find these episodes and special gifts just for you at mightymarriedmoms.com, as well as a link to our Facebook community,
where we continue the conversation around the kitchen table. Please also help share the love by leaving a review on iTunes. We'll see you next time.